The day is finally here. The trailer for the new Persona 5 game is out, and if you're like me, then you were, a little shocked, to say the least. But after about the second or third, or let's be honest, 11th time watching it, I took out my notebook and started jotting down a few of the things I picked up on, and now I have them here for you. This is the top 10 things worth noticing in the new Persona 5 trailer. Number 10, interactions. In just this one quick scene of our protagonist being hit in the head by his teacher, it seems like you will have more interaction with the students, teacher, and even outside of the classroom. You can see this in the way that our protagonist walks around in the real world and how the residents of this town now move with him rather than standing still. Number 9, possession. Our first hint at how the shadows will control people and what you have to fight against comes from this quick look at a man with blank eyes. You may not be fighting shadows as much as shadows possessing people in the real world. We'll get back to that later. Number 8, the Hangout. This place looks like it will be the hangout where you and your friends plan your day and after-school activity, much like the Junas food court in Persona 4 or the lobby of your dorm room in Persona 3. Notice how many empty seats there are. My fear while watching this trailer was that this game would only involve these main 4 characters that we see. But it looks like there's plenty of space for other characters to come in and join you here as the game goes on. Number 7, the residents of the Velvet Room. We see that there will be 2 hosts this time instead of 1 like Margaret or Elizabeth in the previous games, but it is also clear that they are younger, and if Japanese horror films have taught me anything, it's that little ghostly children are terrifying. But it's also worth noticing that they're not alone. Igor is going to be returning, which might have seemed obvious to many, except that the Japanese voice actor who portrayed Igor ever since the first Persona game passed away since the last game. And many believe that out of respect for him, they would leave Igor out of this game, which would have been understandable, but I feel like we need Igor. He's like that string that ties this world together, so I'm glad that he's back. Number 6, the Velvet Room itself. The Velvet Room has always been a bit of a message about the rest of the game. In Persona 3, you're running up a giant tower that reaches above the stars, and the Velvet Room was an elevator. In Persona 4, you were living in a small roadside town, and the Velvet Room was a limo driving down the road. In Persona 5, the Velvet Room is a prison. We only see it for a moment, but the character is going to be in classic prison garbs when he enters, and behind bars. Clearly not enjoying himself. Now this could also be the game over screen, it's a little too early to tell, but it says a lot about the character and their goals and their relationship with the Velvet Room. We'll have more on that later. Number 5, the color red. The past few Persona games have had color that defined it. Blue for Persona 3 and its darker and heavier tone, yellow for Persona 4 and its much sunnier outlook and warming environment. Persona 5 is clearly red, and as you can see from the action, it's fast and heavy. It implies that this series is going to have a far more action-oriented and, pardon me sounding like a 90s promotion machine, but edgier tone as well. Number 4, menus. Would you just look at these menus? So many options, so many things to select, and what an amazing style to them. Just look at the way it moves around. But 2 things to notice that bump it all the way up to the number 4 spot and actually makes me a little concerned. Number 1 being that you can see 2 weapons for each character, a physical attack and a gun, which was very similar to the gameplay in the first Persona game. But here's the most important thing. Look at this list. There's no mention of social links anywhere. Now, social links are arguably one of, if not the thing that made the Persona series blow up and stand out. The ability to grow stronger by interacting with others and learning their stories. I came to this town to fight shadows, but now all I care about is if this girl from the drama club is going to reunite with her estranged father before he dies. Taking social links out of this game would be like taking the Smash out of Super Smash Bros. Then what would you have? Super Bros. That's what. However, look again, there's a new setting called Cooperation. Now this could just be a way of controlling your other party members in combat and strategizing with them, or it could be the new social link system, like a way of saying that each of your social links now work with you in some way, shape, or form, or maybe all of them end up becoming team members and their abilities are related to their cooperation or social link with you. Although there might be another clue in a different menu that tells us what's replacing social links in this game. Look at the menu at the weapons shop. It'll list one of the weapons as Joker, and underneath it you can see it clearly says The Fool. Now for anyone who's an experienced Persona fan, you know that the Fool is one of the arcanas that represents both your social links and your personas. So could it be that in this game, rather than having social links, as you level up your weapons, it also strengthens your personas of the same arcana? Or it could be that in this game, social links not only level up your personas of the same arcana, but your weapons as well. Just a theory. Number 3, the personas. 2 things to notice about the personas. The first being that we didn't see any of them summoned in this trailer, which is a bit odd, until you notice what they're fighting. Now, in the earlier Persona games, as well as many other Shin Megami games, you would encounter demons, and you would either pay them or convince them through conversation to join you and fight alongside you. And in the footage, we saw our heroes were fighting Sandman and Pyrojack, 2 personas. So maybe they've turned to the old gameplay system. Also, at the end of the trailer, we see the protagonist to be completely consumed in flames, and you hear the shattering sound that is associated with summoning a persona. Maybe the reason why we don't see you summoning a persona is because you actually become the persona. Maybe you gain their powers and then fight with your regular weapons. We see another moment in the trailer where a character is falling and then suddenly there's an explosion and a winged persona flies up in their place, which seems to support this theory. Number 2, gameplay. It's very clear that upping the gameplay was a major priority in Persona 5. Before, we would run down a hall, enter a room, then run down another hall until you reach the next floor. That's it. Here you see the protagonist sneaking around. They jump from one point of cover to another, jumping from chandeliers, all so that you can avoid being detected. Plus, there are far more open spaces here. It isn't just running down straight tunnels. We don't know what else the game will contain, but we can tell that the dungeons are going to be very different, and probably for the best. Another thing we can tell is that unlike the previous games, which took a while for the action to start and build up, you can tell this game will come fast and hard. Look at the date in the top corner. The day that you arrive in town is the same as the day you start school, meet your friends, and go into the dungeon. This whole trailer takes place in one day. Now, this could mean nothing. That could have been the date they chose for their demo, but this looked a little more polished than just a demo to me. And the number 1 thing worth noticing in the new Persona 5 trailer, is the protagonist evil? Okay, there's a few things I've been skipping that are pretty obvious, and I've been skipping them because they all seem to converge on this one question. Is the protagonist evil? I hate to leave you guys on a cliffhanger like that, but we've already been running long, and I've got so much to discuss about whether or not we'll be playing the bad guys in Persona 5, I'd hate for half of this top 10 to be dedicated just to that. So instead, feel free to click here on this video to see all the evidence I've compiled as I make my case against these new Persona stars. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you like it, then please like, comment, and subscribe below. I've got many other videos dedicated to all things geeky, whether it be video games, movies, or comics. So many videos dedicated to comics. So, come back next time, and remember to watch that video above if you want to know more about the Persona 5 stars and what theories I've come up with. Thank you very much.